A long season continues to forge on for both of these USL Championship clubs. They do so in a middle stage setting. Prinx Tires USL Cup action continues here today with Miami FC squaring off with Tampa Bay Rowdies. Good afternoon to all, wherever you may be. With Chris Nurse, I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us here today. Chris, it's the group of 7 here down southeast in Florida. Miami FC so far the best team of this group, and they're looking to hold the pace as well.
Yeah, as much as Miami FC may look like the top team right now, this is a derby match, and you know what derby matches do. They bring out something different. The best of the best in their regional territory. There's something different this game brings out.
And for Tampa Bay Rowdies, a win here today would tie Miami FC in points, but they would hold the tiebreaker and have all the cards in their favor as well. Flipping the script now, we take a look at the player to watch for Miami FC. It is this man right here, Arnie Rocha, the forward. He does a lot of good things for Miami FC, but he's scored a couple goals so far in this tournament too.
Yeah, he's the guy with the hot foot right now for this team. He's coming with an opportunity to put this position into his name, given they lost some players at the end of last season. He started off hot in this tournament, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to continue that form tonight.
Miami FC already on a better stretch than they did all of 2025. They're looking to continue that trend here in 2026. Flipping the script over to the other side of things for Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're loaded with firepower up front, including this man right here, MD Myers. 38 goals over the last 2+ seasons. What makes him so dangerous?
Yeah, here you have a proven goal scorer at this level. He knows where the spaces are. He's leaping in front of goal. He has an eye for goal. He can exploit space in behind, but he also has the ability to link up with his teammates. So it's a player who has a 1 in 3 goal ratio, almost 13 goals every season. It's going to be interesting to see if he hits the ground running.
Eastern Conference foes in the USL Championship linking up right here tonight. In this tournament, we'll see a winner-take-all rendezvous here in just a few minutes from now. Coming up on the other side, we'll get you the starting 11 and first touch. Prinx Tires USL Cup battle, Miami FC, Tampa Bay Rowdies coming at you next.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80+ destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by and we're live here from South Florida. Pitbull Stadium, Prinx Tires USL Cup, Miami FC, Tampa Bay Rowdies. The first endeavor between the two sides here in 2026. They do so in the tournament stage as opposed to the regular season, but all in all, these rivals know exactly what is at stake here tonight. First out for the home side, Miami FC, a 4-3-3 led by head coach Gaston Madoni. We look in between the sticks here tonight, Chris. Eli Ruum, he's been fantastic this year in a new kit.
Yeah, a big goalkeeper is always important when you're going to go on a cup run. And I think this is the year when Miami FC have to bring some kind of silverware home. Whether they go through in the playoffs, whether they're able to win the Prinx tournament, they have to give some positivity to the organization and the fans. It's been a rough couple of years. It's going to be interesting if this year they find a way to turn things around. All
starting lineups tonight brought to you by Avianca. For the opposition in Tampa Bay Rowdies, a different alignment here tonight, a 4-4-2. Dominic Casciano is the head coach. Jamali Waite in between the pipes. Regular season activity, Waite has a .67 goals against average. That is sparkling.
Yeah, we've seen a complete resurgence in Tampa Bay Rowdies this season. Again, another team for the past couple of years have been a little bit disappointing. They've always been a team that's been up there competing for the trophies, competing for #1, and they dropped off a little bit the last couple of years. But this year, they've hit the ground running. They come back with new energy. They're more organized, and they're lethal in front of goals. So it's going to be really interesting, these matchups. We know when Tampa plays against Miami, it's no normal game.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practice performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers just like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Tampa Bay Rowdies and their green and gold kits will be moving from left to right on the attack. Miami FC in the aqua blue and the white kits, they'll be countering from right to left. It's a fantastic night for ball. Glad you can be here with us. Temperatures right now about 81 degrees, and this match is officially underway. Some humidity at 71%, cloudy skies, but all in all, it is game time for both of these teams.
Both of these teams have had periods in the last decade where they've been the #1 team or the team to beat in their conference. Miami FC, obviously, some time ago when they really had a star-studded lineup and were #1 in terms of the competition and spending, etc., throughout the organization and the league. And obviously Tampa Bay Rowdies have consistently been a team that's competed for the championship, competed for the #1 position. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two USL monsters, so to speak, compete against each other tonight. Because as we speak about, this kind of rivalry game brings about more intensity, more passion, more emotion than a lot of our regular season games. So it's going to be interesting seeing a cup format and a cup competition, how these two teams take that on board.
There's also a compelling event here for Miami FC. Last year, they were up against it with Tampa Bay, having been winless against them in 8 matches. And they were playing in the Jägermeister Cup last year in Tampa Bay against these Rowdies. They were down 3-0 at the end of the first half. They scored 3 unanswered goals to tie it, forced an extra session. They went to penalties, and Bill Hamid stopped 2 PKs. Miami FC won it on the difference in PKs, and they snapped a losing skid. Now, the regular season's a different animal, Chris. Tampa Bay has dominated the regular season encounters. They have 13 victories out of 5 losses and only 4 draws, so they definitely have the one-sided advantage over Miami FC, but something about these tournaments you just can't predict.
Yeah, and of course, you're looking to continue that rivalry or understanding how special this fixture can mean. You're looking for those players who have been in the roster for an extended period of time, who have been part of the organization for 5 or 6 years, who understand what it's been like to win against Miami FC or to lose against Miami FC, depending on which side of the fence you're sitting on. So you really need that continuity in players, in organizers, in leaders to really bring that passion intensity to this type of fixture. Otherwise, you start from...
Shot going for a goal, just misses wide of the cage. Rocha was the one that initially set it up, but a dangerous look early on for Miami.
And that's why in tournaments or competitions like this, it's important to get the young players involved. And when you look at the Miami FC bench, you see a number of players who are 19, 20 years old who may potentially be the future of this organization. And being able to be part of these fixtures now allow you to create a culture and cultivate that competition through your organization where that rivalry becomes a little bit natural.
Joel Sonora with the good look early on. The difference in the shape tonight for Gaston Madoni's guys is Sonora is in and Jurgen Locadia is out. The reason for that is because Locadia had picked up a red card in their previous USL Cup match, and because of that, he is not available here tonight, so he's in street clothes and he'll be watching just like everybody else. Tampa Bay unbeaten right now in USL Championship action. They're the top dog in the Eastern Conference with 5 victories, no losses, and 3 draws. Miami, respectable right now in 7th position out east. 3 victories, a couple losses, and 4 draws, so they're picking up points any which way that they can. This one played in the box. Myers had a piece of it. The shot was blocked on the way through. Myers coming from Charleston Battery, and this is a massive lift for Tampa Bay. It seems like there's always a guy that comes in from the outside that's replacing someone previously, and Myers has been that dude. In Charleston, he really filled it up. He had 31 regular season goals over 2+ seasons, so he's an instant impact player for the Rowdies.
Yeah, and obviously he's coming in to Miami FC to replace Bonfiglio, who was carrying the offense of the team on his own the past season. It's just making things happen out of nothing, chasing balls down. He was the go-to goal scorer. He's coming in to fill those boots. On the opposite team, not for Miami FC, for Tampa, of course. For Miami FC, it's Rocha who's coming in to fill those boots for Bonfiglio. Can he provide that same offensive output that Bonfiglio had last year? Pressing defenders, creating from the front, really trying to create his own luck when he wasn't necessarily getting good service from the players behind him.
Schaefer with a long throw in here near the 6. Knutson heads it away. Miami trying to jumpstart the attack and counter the other way, but they can't just yet. They're asking for it to be offside. That was the case as Luis Perez a little bit too ambitious in that approach. And he hit the nail right on the head, Chris. Rubens Pacius last year for Tampa Bay hit 14 goals for the club.
Yeah, I think the good thing about Myers is Charleston have consistently been one of the top organizations in the USL Championship. So he's coming from a winning environment. I know managers that don't like to sign players that come from losing teams, irrespective if they're a good player, just because of the environment that they've been accustomed to on a daily basis. There's a difference in coming from a winning environment where you understand what it takes to win and the sacrifices needed to be taken each day to be successful, and coming from a losing environment. Most managers want players who are going to come and elevate what's already existing. So it's definitely something that coaches take into consideration when they're recruiting players. It's not just being a good player, but it's also
Akoff, good ball here. Coming off the line a little bit was room, but that ball spearheaded away. But a good look in close proximity, and diving for that was Dolabella.
Yeah, you're almost wondering how did he not score here? The ball kind of gets stuck under his foot. He was in front of goal with no defender anywhere close to him, and he kind of tackles it out of play rather than guiding it and framing into the back of the net. So really bad miss there. You'd have to say that's the best chance of the game so far.
Dolabella and MD Myers, though, on the verge, ever so close, and now a couple players mixing it up down near the end line. No harm, no foul as Schaefer goes down. Chris, going back to your point, what you're talking about with coaches and groups bringing in talent from other clubs, is the sentiment along with being on a losing team the same as, hey, someone has to get those numbers, someone's stat stuffing, and you can look a little too top heavy when you're scoring all those goals on a bad team?
It's a tough one, because if you find a way to still be impactful on a bad team, you really have something special as an individual, because you may be suffering in results as a team, but you're still maintaining that hunger and the determination and work ethic to be successful, because you're not going to hit your numbers unless you're going out there and giving everything every single game. So there's still value to the players who show that character and that mentality and that discipline, irrespective of how the team may be performing.
Miami trying to return fire here. This goes back to Jamali Waite. Waite has been nearly picture perfect in net this season for Tampa Bay. You look at the unbeaten record, you can point to a guy in between the pipes getting things done, and he is just that. Sonora, Rocha trying to find to the back post. Tampa Bay doing a good job converging, defending.
It's not bad improvisation there from Rocha. I thought he was just going to swing his left footer and see if he could get the volley on target, but he tries to flick it with his right foot back towards his teammate.
Perez on the rush. Nice move here by Luis. Perez takes the shot and just misses the corner.
This was probably the situation where Perez probably should have cut the ball back for his teammate. Not being naturally right-footed and not having the greatest angle. I feel like he probably had a little bit more time here to just go inside, cut it back. He tries to go across the keeper with his weaker foot. Doesn't quite connect with it as accurate as would have liked, but great individual ability there from Perez, beating two players inside the box.
Goes back to Jamali Waite.
As you can see, the game pretty open right now. Chances at both ends and very transitional. With the temperature being as it is, you kind of do envision, that's a nice flick.
Really finding that mark. Tampa Bay holding possession here. And back in the numbers they come. It's a crossing attempt towards the back post. And Jayo, who was there. Perez now. And you have some important cogs up front for Tampa Bay. Dolabella and MD Myers can inflict any kind of damage on the back line. So Room will have to be on his toes here tonight. Oliveira peels this thing back. Schneider looking for some open real estate. Akoff is on the right wing. Ball will go well out in front and goes right back to Miami FC. Well, we got a minute. Enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code, put it on your screen right there, and enter today. I had the hardest time doing that on my old iPhones. Got an iPhone 17, and it happened right away with the QR code. Technology, man.
The advancement.
No doubt about it. Match just underway. There's no score, but plenty of chances from both ends. Specifically, looking at Tampa Bay, they played well out of the gate, like they have all year long. A bona fide threat in the Eastern Conference, and in fact, throughout USL Championship to win it all. They've been synonymous with winning for quite a while. Akoff wants to keep this in the attacking third. But that possession's going to go right back to Miami FC.
You can always tell when the heat starts to turn up a little bit, because players take a little bit long to get the ball back into play. When it's a little bit cooler, they put it down and they'll play quickly. When play stops and it's warmer, you see they like to take the extra seconds to give themselves a little breather in between it and try to keep themselves rested, because the heat does take it out of you. You do get dehydrated pretty quickly, so the tempo of the game does slow down a little bit in the summer.
Rocha. Fine job here. Miami trying to pursue it, but Sonora and company couldn't do anything with it. Romero also trying to provide some support. Big question tonight for Miami, not only to be on the winning side of things, but play downhill is how are they going to replace Jurgen Locadia tonight? A few different guys that can certainly mix it up. One of them in particular is Mason Tunbridge. Tunbridge is just a guy who has a nose for action. He can make things difficult for the opposition, whether he's controlling possession or setting up teammates. But he brings a physical brand of ball to Miami FC.
Yeah, and I think, as I spoke about pre-game, this is an important year, I feel like, for Miami FC. They have the ambitious project. They're building a fantastic new training facility and a stadium in Homestead, I believe. So you need that resurgence in performance on field. You cannot build a brand.
Perez going for goal. Oh, and he scores! Louis Perez from well out finds the mark, and Tampa Bay's on the board.
I think you see a distinct difference here when the ball is on Perez's left foot compared to his right. On his right foot earlier, didn't quite get off, but this is absolute class of his left foot. Just opens his hips, sees the space on the right side of the goalkeeper, and complete accuracy off the inside of the post and into the back of the net. Fantastic strike from Perez. One moment of brilliance has given Tampa Bay Rowdies the lead.
A jarring strike for Perez. He has not scored during the regular season, but he gets on the board here in Tampa Bay with an early advantage over Miami.
When you have that kind of quality in your left foot, you just need to be in the right spaces at the right moment and have the time to get the shot off. You can see Perez has quality in his left foot, without a doubt. And if you leave him on the top of the box or anywhere in around the 18-yard box with that type of time and space, he's going to punish you. So that's there's no warning signs. They've been punished, Miami FC, but they should have been a little bit smarter to understand you can't leave that player in that position without somebody closing down and putting him under pressure, because you can see he has the accuracy in his left foot where he'll punish you.
Looks like it's Tunbridge that's down. We'll wait and get a number on it. That is Mason Tunbridge getting back to his toes. He is not feeling good about himself, but a free kick here for Miami FC. Tunbridge trying to walk it off. Louis Perez shaking it loose. He scored a career high 7 goals in 2023 for North Carolina in USL League One. Trying to make the same impact in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, if Tunbridge is showing that pain, naturally you'd envision he's in some discomfort, because as we spoke about, in a derby game, Miami FC against Tampa Bay Rowdies, the players, you try not to show fear, you try not to show that you've been intimidated and you haven't been hurt. The second you do that, your opponents know they've got the better of you. The next time they're going to keep going in a little bit harder you because they know that you're feeling that weakness. So not seeing him show that level of discomfort openly tells you that he must be in some genuine discomfort. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on him and see how he continues.
Lakoff bringing nearly a couple guys his way for Miami FC. They weren't overloading over there, was Tampa Bay. Spreading the wealth. They're looking for more. Myers was an intended target, also Dolabella, both there, 9 and 8 respectively. Tampa Bay's been the better team. They've had the chances. This one played through inside the 18. That initial shot blocked. The rebound, Akoff over on the right-hand side. Whistle, and that's going to be blown dead as well.
Excellent play here from Tampa Bay Rowdies. Just moving the ball quick in 1-2 touches. They get it back wide. The cutback deceives everybody. I think it's Dolabella again who maybe tries to shoot from an angle a little bit too cute. He could have probably made one more pass across the face of goal and somebody else could have finished it off, but fantastic build-up play there from the Rowdies.
Tampa Bay clearly playing downhill. Miami is accustomed to this, though, playing without possession, trying to counter, trying to push when there's open moments for it. Gastamadoni's troops not in an uncomfortable position. However, they do not like facing the scoreboard saying it's 1-0 for the opposition. That is where they're at right now. Quick touch, Alessi. Doing a good job not flopping, holding possession. Watch out here, Romero out wide to the left. Romero bringing 2 defenders with him from Tampa. And now Romero, quick walk this back.
I think there's one consistent I see in some of the top teams is that when they lose possession of the ball, they do a fantastic job of getting 10 players behind the ball quickly and make it really difficult for the opponents to break down and get shots off. The teams that struggle a little bit are the ones who struggle in transition and don't get bodies back behind the ball and struggle in defensive transition. So I would say Tampa Bay Rowdies do a good job of when they lose possession of the ball, they get bodies behind the ball really quickly and make it difficult for Miami FC to break them down.
Turn on the CBS Sports Network on May 23rd for a USL Championship Northeastern Showdown. Rhode Island FC squares off with newcomer Brooklyn FC at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on CBS Sports Network May 23rd. We're in the month of May.
Crazy, huh? Not far away from the World Cup. You ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Who's your jersey? What jersey you got?
I don't know. I mean, the chalk is you're wearing. I don't know. You're wearing Portugal colors this year?
No, how are you not going to wear the US colors? What are we really talking? How could you even contemplate wearing Portugal?
I bleed red, white, and blue, of course.
Well, that's it. Red, white, and blue. That's it. You shouldn't even hesitate with that.
That's the chalk. I was in Kansas City a couple days ago, and they are extremely excited about it. The Kansas City airport has everything glossing with World Cup action. The transportation is nearly set as well, too. It's a different animal, of course, in New Jersey.
It's time. It's time for everybody to get excited about the sport of soccer. Everybody.
It'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun, no matter where the activity takes place. Tunbridge here with the left foot, trying to squeak it through. Jamali Wade Knutson trying to wipe that away and could not do so. And the question is, are you going to crack open the wallet for a few tickets here in South Florida? Come on, Chris, you got a couple young ones.
The reality is some of those resale prices are a little steep right now. We'll see what happens as we get closer to game time.
Bit challenging indeed.
You might see me climbing over the fences.
Oh, that'll be a treat.
I do have my eyes on Portugal, Colombia, though. It's definitely a game that I'd like to attend.
We're taking a look at a few of those tickets, and yeah, secondary market is a bit unkind right now, but to be expected. Luis Perez striking it rich for Tampa Bay. His lone marker, the difference maker. This one played through. Akoff trying to split 2 defenders. Knutson with a great job defending.
Brilliant tackle there from Knutson. It looked like the odds were actually against him. Timed it well and was able to retain possession of the ball, not just to win the tackle, but also to retain possession for his team.
Gainbridge doing a good job of mucking it up. Rocha on the dead sprint, just could not get to it. Tampa Bay on a historic run right now when you look at their body of work. Not only the only team right now in USL Championship that have been unbeaten. 5 victories, no defeats, and also 3 draws. You're looking at the overall performance for them. Dominant at home, strong on the road, but they just don't concede a whole heck of a lot either. That's another big moment for them here this year.
Yeah, looking between both conferences, the Rowdies have only conceded 5 goals in the USL Championship so far in the 8 matches played, which is the least goals conceded out of all 25 teams between both conferences. So they have a very, very stingy defense, so to speak. So for Miami FC to get themselves on the score sheet tonight, it's going to take something special to break down this defense, and that's what we're talking about. In transition moments, they do a fantastic job of getting 10 players behind the ball. Now, it takes a lot of work to get all your players to buy into that, believe me. So you have to give the head coach a lot of respect for being so strong on his defensive principles and getting all the players to buy into it, because offensive players generally do not want to do the defensive work. But if you want to be good, you want to have clean sheets, you want to have the opportunity to compete for championships, and defense is a massive part of that. You have to get the whole team to buy into the defensive transition moments. And so far this season, they've done a fantastic job of that.
Tampa Bay has conceded 5 goals in those 8 league matches. Miami has scored 10 goals in 9 league matches.
So we have one of the most potent offenses right now against arguably the best defense. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think there's an element there that you can make a distinct advantage with Tampa Bay, given the fact that Jurgen Locadia is also out.
In the Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay Rowdies scored 13 goals. The only team that supersedes their 13 so far is Louisville City, and we know that Louisville City have been spectacular.
Yeah.
Specifically in not losing games the past couple of years. This season, obviously, there's a transition in leadership. They're a little bit different than they were in previous years, but they're still up there in number 2 despite the transition and many different things changing throughout the organization. They're still there going toe-to-toe with Tampa at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Oliveira here into the box. That one's sprayed away.
Miami AFC currently sitting in 7th in the Eastern Conference, which is an improvement based upon where they've been the past few seasons.
Sonora doing a great job using his cold shoulder. Sonora here trying to circumvent this defense. There's a good takedown inside the 18. No whistle being blown here. We play on.
I think it's a tough call here, but I think it's edging on a penalty kick if you get to see it back. There doesn't seem to be much of an opportunity or much of an attempt to get the ball, and there seems to be a lot of attempt to prevent Russia from attacking the ball. So I would say our ability to see a replay, possibly a penalty opportunity there, denied from Miami FC.
John Motto is our lead official. The center referee has not had an influence on tonight's match. I know you're a massive fan, Chris, of the development and institution of relegation here shortly.
Yep.
USL Championship. But what about the ability to have VAR as well?
I think the opportunity will be there when the league is ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still some growing factors, and I'm still like the fact that sometimes the human error makes the game a little bit more exciting.
Yes.
I do like that things can be more factual, and of course VAR. Here we see the ball that came into the box, and it looked like Rocha was brought down. Half of one, 6 a dozen of the other. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, something.
I could make a call for that, yeah. I could definitely make a call for that.
But yeah, I do like the fact that when referees have the autonomy, there is some human error, and that sometimes is part of the game. I think that VAR has helped try to make things more accurate, but VAR still makes mistakes also, because there's things that VAR doesn't pick up and decisions that still don't get made. So I think right now there's no perfect resolution, but we're definitely heading in a direction where things are improving in terms of decision making, helping the referees to make better decisions. I just like exciting games, in honesty. However it comes, as long as my team is on the winning end of it, whatever those decisions may be, I just like exciting games of soccer.
taken away by Miami. Malesi peels this thing back. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. On the giveaway here, Tampa Bay. Trying to forge forward. Myers was looking for it. That ball had a little bit too much run on it. Myers on one end, Dolabella on the other as well. That ball just pushed through by Oliveira with too much velocity on it.
Yeah, I think Oliveira here, he's right to give his teammates an airful. I'm not sure you want a better delivery than that. The ball's coming straight across the face of goal. If it can't be attacked by Dolabella or from Myers, somebody's got to be attacking that far post, attacking to the back of the net. It's a fantastic delivery, the kind of service that attackers and strikers dream of, but they've got to make the runs into those spaces to finish off the play.
And there's one thing that Myers and Dolabella have both done so far in this first half is play direct, as we got a member down for Miami FC.
Matthew, venga.
Now the medical staff is asked to come on. Ooh, Arthur Rogers. Looked like the left quad he grabbed right away.
Yeah, and you can obviously tell pretty quickly once you see the player start gesticulating that he needs assistance and they need to make a substitution. It doesn't look like he's going to recover from that. Obviously, we wish him a speedy recovery, but it's going to be interesting to see how they change things now to fill that forced substitution.
Gaston Madoni in his second year as head coach of of Miami FC. Brand new season for him, and the ability now to recruit his own talent. So without Jurgen Locadia tonight, Miami's going to have to pick up the missing pieces. Malesi and Rocha and Tunbridge. None have been a factor yet, but have had some touches so far for Gaston Madoni. Madoni spending 14 years with Boca Juniors. Last year, you could have said it tongue-in-cheek, but it would have been serious. Majority of his players on the roster were Argentine. And in fact, at one point during the season, 9 of the regular starters were Argentine. So he was going with a lot of familiarity for him, but unfortunately for him in Miami, just a lot of players from USL League One making the leap, and it was just too big for them. Rogers limping off the pitch, and you can see him touching that quad. One misstep and pop, it could go.
Yeah, this season the roster seems to be a little bit more fairly balanced on where players specifically derive from. And I would say the average age on the team has also lowered a little bit. I would say last year the team was approaching 30 years old, if not a little higher for averages, which means it was a team designed to win. It wasn't necessarily a development team or we're going to be good next year, because once you have a higher age range like that, you put a squad together of experienced players who can do the job right now. Now there's a little bit of balance. There's some players who are in their middle 30s, late 30s, but as we spent, there's some youngsters on the bench. Brandon Bent, 2007, that means 19 years old. There's a couple others who are 19 and 20 also. So there's a good balance of youngsters who they're embedding and developing for the future. Some senior pros who maybe are coming in towards the twilight of their career, and some pros in their mid to late 20s who are now in the peak of their career. So I think the squad exudes a better balance when it comes to age and experience right now than it maybe did last year.
Matthew Ndago coming into the match. All substitutions tonight brought to you by Baptist Health. It's the first one of the night for either side, and it's because of an injury issue to Arthur Rogers. So Ndago comes in, Rogers' night is over with. We can only hope for a speedy recovery for him. Up until that point, Miami has been relatively healthy. I say that loosely because nobody on any team at this point in the year is healthy, but guys being available is huge. Akoff out wide, a 2-on-1. Akoff looking out wide, gentle pass to the left wing, and it goes behind one, but picking it up, MD Myers and Dolabella. This one outside. Oliveira, the crossing attempt, didn't put a lot of spice on that. Tampa Bay continues to flirt and push. Another crossing attempt, that one's gonna be nullified in a corner here. But again, another sequence, Chris, where you have Dolabella and MD Myers in the prime spot to score another goal.
Yeah, the first one here, when Akoff comes down the right-hand side, you're looking to see if he has the capacity to bring that ball into his left foot and let off a shot. He plays a diagonal pass with his right foot that doesn't really go to anybody. Then Perez picks up the ball and tries to clip it back into the box. And again, there's nobody attacking the area where he clips it. So Tampa Bay Rowdies doing a good job of getting into the final third and creating opportunities, just lacking that killer instinct and that killer pass. They've had some fantastic opportunities, really. It's a little flattering for the score to only be 1-0. They should have themselves on the score sheet and have a couple of times with the opportunities that they've had.
Luis Perez here on the corner. The lone marker. Perez bends it away. That one goes off of a body. That was trouble. Dolabella, no. The second crack at it missed. Dolabella was in a perfect spot to let that thing whip in.
And look, the goal that's got Tampa Bay on the score sheet.
Some harsh contact here. Schaefer goes down, and a free kick just outside the 18, square ahead for Tampa Bay is coming up.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Perez be the one to take responsibility for this also. But we look at the goal that Tampa Bay Rowdies have scored. It's the hardest opportunity that they've had. Perez's shot from way outside the 18-yard box where he gets it and curls it past the goalkeeper. They've had cleaner, easier opportunities that they've not been clinical in finishing.
And a yellow card delivered to Gaston Madoni. And that is a challenging ruling against Miami FC, Malesi. So, Chris, to your point here, a vulnerable spot for Miami to be in.
Yeah, and sometimes you do need the coaches to get aggressive, to bring their passion, to show their determination or their frustration at times, to kind of ignite a change in the demeanor or to spark a change in the demeanor of the players. However, it's probably not the moment when you're defending a free kick and the game's a little stagnant. You want the players to be calm and organized and composed in this moment. But I think that Gaston Madoni has to ensure that he shows that leadership from the side, when to turn up the heat and when he wants that drive out the players and when they need to be calm.
Max Schneider, no, it'll be Oliveira. Drives that ball into the wall, not well struck. Here's Romero. Miami gets away with some trouble there. Fortunate break. However, Malesi had a call go against him. It wasn't really over the top. And now Miami trying to push a counter the other way. Rocha. Dongo, who's up there with him, is out wide to the right. And that possession's going to go to Miami. And ball just a misplay by Tampa.
Yeah, and I think although Rocha doesn't get control of the ball, just the ability to make those runs in behind and stretch the defense and put them under pressure allows Miami FC to get control of the ball a little bit higher. If he doesn't have that space to put pressure when that ball's played in behind, it's going to be very comfortable for the defense of Tampa Bay Rowdies. But you can see they're a little bit uncomfortable when Rocha does start to put them under pressure and chase them down, and he forces these kind of mistakes to happen.
Tunbridge, nice move. Rocha elevates. One move from Ndongo, gives it up. Tunbridge goes for goal. Not well struck, and it was blocked.
No, not too much conviction in that strike from Tunbridge. He kind of leaning back, doesn't get a great connection on it. It wasn't hit with too much venom. Just didn't have his balance and composure right in that moment when he tried to take that strop.
Macron halftime report is around the corner. We'll have first half stats, highlights, some news and notes around USL Championship. Also take a peek at the out-of-town scoreboard. All that in a bag of chips. Coming up once we're done with 45 minutes here. Rocha and Ndongo, right-hand side. Lucy. Miami trying to do something offensive. They haven't had a legit shot on target yet against Jamali Waite.
Some nice midfield play there from Torrey. Was just playing 1 and 2 touches, connecting between him and the strikers, receiving in pockets on the half-turn, playing forward. And then he was actually making a nice third-man run, breaking forward when the play got intercepted, but doing a good job of keeping the ball moving in there, Torrey.
Sonora, who goes down, draws the foul. And a free kick here for Miami. In a spot like this, Chris, where are you going with the ball?
You want to play short and get it back into play quickly. They don't have the biggest team, so it's not a team where they're going to dump it into the box and expect to win the header and then get the second ball. It's a team that wants to get it down and move it quickly. So really, the referee stopping play hurts them a little bit because they just want to get the ball down and play quick.
Was a fast restart for Miami and Romero. Ndongo, who's in now, came in for Arthur Rogers, who left with a left leg injury. So chipped into the box to nobody. Tampa Bay, opportunity to clear it and get it out of harm's way. And they're holding possession now. They're out shooting Miami by a 6-3 margin. Each team has one shot on goal. The only one that matters, though, is Luis Perez's goal. Outside of that, possession being held by Tampa Bay, 57% to 43 for the home side.
Interesting statistic is neither team seems to be deploying a successful high press, because so far in this game, neither team has been able to win the ball in the final third. And we see Red Bulls and all these teams then pressing and pressing from the front and pressing aggressive. Neither of these teams have had any success in pressing from the front to win the ball back. As we spoke about, tactics do change as the temperature changes. So understanding that players may not have the energy to run box to box, teams adapting their strategy to drop off and press from more of a mid-block position rather than a high press where you expose the space behind, and you have to have that energy to be transitional, and centre-backs who have the ability to defend 1v1 and chase those balls in behind. So it's an interesting statistic kind of defining how both teams are approaching this game out of possession.
One of the benefits that both these teams do have is the luxury of time off. They did not have a midweek game, which is usually occurring on a Wednesday or Thursday leading into tonight's contest. Miami, having last played against Birmingham, was a scoreless draw in Alabama. And for Tampa Bay, they played to a 1-1 draw at Rhode Island. That was back on May the 9th.
I will give you another interesting statistics.
You always give me interesting statistics.
It could again be indicative of how the game is playing out. Miami FC have had 60% successful dribbles, 5 dribbles. So where we've spoken about Tampa Bay's style of play where they're playing in 1 and 2 touches, connecting, Miami FC are a little bit different, where they do get players into one-run situations and encourage their players to dribble and take players on, and that's been displayed also in the statistics tonight.
Chip looking for Ndongo, he could not get to it. And back to Jamali Waite. Waite has not been tested. Comes into this game, does Jamali Waite, with a save percentage at 77. The goals against sits at a glistening .67.
Despite the scoreline, the playing out of the game has been fairly even. Tampa Bay Rowdies currently sit 55%, Miami FC 45%. But if you're looking at touches or passes in the final third, Miami FC actually have more passes in the final third, 33 passes in the final third in comparison to Tampa Bay Rowdies, 29 passes in the attacking third. So from a passing perspective, things are fairly balanced out right now between both teams.
Pretty good tackle there, Oliveira, who gets up. Forging forward, Akoff on the right-hand side. Akoff tries to cross. Malesi gets the right foot out.
Okay, my last stat for you. As you mentioned, shots so far in the game. Tampa Bay Rowdies have 6, Miami FC have 3 shots on target. Both teams have 1 shot on target. 90% of goals are scored from inside the 18-yard box. So far in this game, 4 of Tampa Bay Rowdies' shots have come from inside the 18-yard box. I'm pretty certain the one they scored didn't come from inside there, and none of Miami FC's shots have come from inside the 18-yard box. So it's indicative of the areas that they're getting into, where they're taking shots from. As I said, Tampa Bay Rowdies have had a couple chances, easier chances than the one they scored, that they should have got themselves on the score sheet from. Miami FC haven't quite got themselves into those areas where the high conversion rate is from shots on target.
Luis Perez here in the corner for Tampa Bay. That can't be the last stat you give me for the night. Got a long way to go, man.
Till halftime. All
right, fair enough.
Then I'll go back into my stat book.
Recharge the battery. Knudsen getting a quick lecture from our center referee.
What's going on?
Luis Perez here. Good ball, some decent contact though inside the 18. That's going to go against Tampa Bay. And Miami the benefactor of it.
Referee clearly had his eyes firmly fixed on the battle there between Schaefer. As soon as the ball was delivered in the box, he didn't even hesitate a moment to blow his whistle and give the free kick.
Make it look, make it look like I'm doing it both. Yeah.
39th minute. Miami still trying to deliver some pressure to Tampa Bay. They have not had any kind of offensive flurry yet. Maneuvering, Torrey ricocheting away. Both these teams exchanging turnovers. Match has not been for lack of action, that's for certain. Tampa Bay, so far the cream of the crop. As Ndongo is going to be ruled offside. Far set official will indicate as much. Tampa Bay, 8 matches so far, unbeaten in those 8. They've allowed 5 goals. To be in perspective for Tampa Bay, last year through 8 matches, they had surrendered 14 goals. They have adjusted defensively, tightened the clamps.
And I think it's important because as much as we like to see exciting games, we like to see a lot of goals. There's one consistent that championship teams have. They're very good in defense. They're very hard to break down. They don't lose a lot of games and they don't concede a lot of goals. It's a consistent trait of the top teams. And when I say top teams, it's the teams that are able to win the regular season. The teams that go on to win the playoffs is a little bit different because, as we spoke about the story of Louisville and how consistent they've been in the regular season over the past couple of years. And the playoffs have fell short for them a number of times. But over the course of a long season, a 9-month season, you really do have to be judging your consistency and the ability to win games and be hard to beat and have that resiliency to go week after week after week and compete at a high level. And the top teams are able to do that without losing too many and without conceding too many goals over the course of the year in comparison to their counterparts.
Rocha there with a slew foot. Take a look at this again. Kafu goes down. We'll keep an eye on our 4th official to see how much added time these clubs are awarded. And did have a break in all the action when Arthur Rogers went down for Miami with a leg injury. So we expect at least a couple minutes of stoppage time.
Hey, ref, watch out the block. Watch out the block.
Luis Perez here.
Watch out the block con la vela.
Takes this, goes for goal, volleyed away nicely by Room, but this will set up a corner kick for Tampa Bay.
Perez comes off with such a good strike with such minimal effort. He just takes a couple steps back and rifles it towards the top corner. It does take a deflection here, and you can see Room scrambling across the goal line to get his 2 hands on it and pushes away from danger, but the confidence and quality in that left foot there from Perez. You can tell when a player steps up to the ball and they know they've done this a million times before.
Perez has been insane so far in this first half. Scored a goal, has had chances on 2 more.
Doing the goalkeeper, John. Watch out. Watch out, goalkeeper, John.
Perez softly chipped it through this time, headed away. Back in, they score! Oh, what a nasty spin move there from MD Myers, and Tampa Bay leads 2-0. What a banger.
It's an absolutely incredible finish here from Myers, and this is all striker's instinct. The ball's not put on a plate here for him. He just puts himself in a great position, allows it to go across his body and just guides it on the frame with the volley. It's about shoulder height. Fantastic flexibility and mobility here from Myers to guide this on frame, but just stands still, sees the ball going, let it run across his body, and he already knows where the goal is. He doesn't even glance, just redirects the ball on frame and into the back of the net, giving Room 0 chance. Tampa Bay Rowdies now firmly in control of this game, 2-0.
Massive goal before the end of the first half. 1 for Tampa to get, and 2, 1 for Miami to concede. They have not played an inspired brand of ball here tonight, and Tampa Bay has.
And that's wounding. For a coach, it always hurts more when you score in the 5 minutes just before halftime, because at 1-0 your strategy, okay, we're only 1 goal down, we can make these changes, we can bring these players in and get ourselves back into the game. Conceding a goal now completely changes it, because in the second half now, you have to go for the game, you have to open things up, You have to try and bring in fresh energy and ideas. It completely changes the halftime team talk.
Oliveira here, trying to widen this wound against Miami. Perez out wide to the left. So Myers and Perez doing the damage so far. Dolabella has been awfully close for Tampa Bay.
Now the conundrum for Miami FC at halftime is, okay, we're 2-0 down, which means we have to give up something defensively to become more offensive, to go and chase goals. It's going to be, what space are you willing to sacrifice? What players, defensive players, are you willing to sacrifice in order to go after those equalizing goals?
'45th minute. And Miami just looking up at Tampa. Their rivals from northern Florida have dominated them in recent years.
The young players on the bench, you have Garcia Academy, you have Ben, you have Ndongo, who already came in earlier for the injury, and then you have some more experienced players. So it's really going to be, okay, who has the legs on the field, who can push a little bit more, and then which players on the bench can come and give us that spark to go after the equalising goal, because they really have to push forward.
Picked up Tunbridge. A quick bear hug, and there'll be a call. It's a play by Luis Perez. I've seen yellow cards delivered for action like that. 4 minutes of added time.
4 minutes of stoppage time.
Ndongo came in for Rogers. Ndongo, 19 years old, born January 2007.
Nine shots to 4 for Tampa Bay. 3 of them haven't been on target. 2 of them have found the back of the net. And D. Myers with an electric goal. Perez with a fine finish as well. A yellow card here being picked up. And Tunbridge is going to wear it. So he's stuck on caution the rest of the night. The frustration's clearly getting to Miami here in this opening half. Gaston Madoni shown yellow, and now Tunbridge as well.
Tunbridge, the Englishman who spent some time with South Georgia Tormenta in USL League One. Nothing malicious there, just a little bit late. Holds his hands up, accepts the yellow card, didn't even really challenge it. Probably a little bit more frustrated at how the first half has gone. Looks like a yellow card again for a member of staff there.
You gotta watch what you say, Chris. You might pick up yellow.
Well, you can see a little bit of indiscipline creeping in. I think that's the second yellow card there for the bench from Miami FC. Yeah. Tunbridge picking one up on the field. You can see the frustrations are transmitting all across the players and the coaching staff. So I think it's a moment where they've got to calm things down if they're going to get themselves back into the game. They have to be a little bit more strategic in their approach. They have to think things through a little bit more collectively.
Oliveira trying to go for a goal. That shot was blocked by Njai. I guess on that note too, Chris, is this something that will carry over into the locker room for the Miami coaching staff to the players?
Well, number one, it should carry from the players to the coaching staff, because normally the first voices you hear when you come into the locker room are the players themselves trying to figure themselves or hold people accountable or trying to find solutions themselves before the coaching staff then get involved and have their say. So it's going to be interesting to see who take the leadership from that standpoint, because as we spoke about, this is a rival match. You're at home in your home stadium and it's a cup competition. Miami FC have to compete with more heart, with more passion, with more determination, with more pride. So far they've been very passive in accepting the way that Tampa Bay Rowdies have been dictating and controlling the game. They've got to compete better from a performance standpoint, first and foremost.
Perez here in the delivery, and Jai gets it away. Tampa Bay has been relentless with their pursuits in this first half. Every time they concede possession, they go right back to it. had some excellent pressure in this first half, and they've been rewarded twice.
Yeah, and I think good organizations have an identity, irrespective of when head coaches change, when players change. They have an identity of this is who we are, this is how we play, and this is how we represent our city and our fans. And this is something that both teams need to re-establish or reinvent. I'm not quite sure the right word to define it, but as I said, you have to have lived in the culture, you have to have experienced these derbies and be able to bring that passion and that intensity. If you're just a new player coming in and out and you don't have players who have been there for an extended period of time who understand what it means when the Tampa Bay Rowdies play against Miami FC or what the competition really means, then you lack that intensity and that real passion that you feel when this atmosphere or these games arrive.
Knudsen tries to switch the pitch for Miami. They're trying to push anything down into the attacking third, and Dongo nowhere in sight. And this will be a throw-in for Tampa Bay.
And of course, 2-0 lead. They're in no rush to get this back into play. They're happy to let the seconds tick and get to halftime with a 2-0 lead.
John Amato, our lead official, not looking at his watch yet. Flung through Oliveira, not well timed.
Tommy. I mean, the nutmeg was nice. The strike, maybe not so nice.
Not so much. Left wanting a bit. Malesi,
it's like when you coach young players when they're all about the flicks and the nutmegs, and you're like, there's no end product at the end of it. If you're going to do the flicks and the nutmegs, there has to be a shot or a final pass that makes the difference.
Need the payoff, and the first half comes to a conclusion, and Miami needs to escape and go to their locker room. First half goals in this one relatively precise for Luis Perez and MD Myers. They've inflicted the damage on Miami, 2-0 for the road team here through 45.
Yeah, I think for Tampa Bay Rowdies, it's not been fantastic, but it's been very efficient. For Miami FC, it has to get better. I don't think there's any question marks about it. In the second half, they have to show significant improvement.
Well, the Macron halftime report is coming at you next. Don't go anywhere. Stats, highlights, and news and notes will follow, but Tampa Bay leads 2-0 over Miami.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80+ destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
And we're back here at Pitbull Stadium. Macron halftime report is here. Tampa Bay Rowdies with a 2-0 advantage over Miami FC. Luis Perez, MD Myers with the strikes early on in this ball game. Now take some time to look around the USL Championship, some news and notes. Well, let's take it away.
When Hartford Athletics' Adrian Deespace scored in the 83rd minute against Rhode Island FC, it began a furious finish to the 2025 USL Cup group stage finales. Deespace's goal kept Hartford alive in the race to advance in the competition as a wild card. Less than 10 minutes later in Detroit, Matt Sheldon capped Detroit City's 3-0 win over Westchester SC, taking that wild card away from Hartford. Minutes later in Kentucky, Louisville City's Jake Morris scored twice in added time to defeat Lexington SC 2-1. Louisville was now the owner of the wild card, but not for long. Back in Pawtucket, Hartford outlasted Rhode Island in a penalty kick shootout. Hartford Athletic reclaimed the wild card spot that two other clubs held for mere minutes. So how did we get here? Well, after 4 group stage matches, Hartford Athletic and Louisville City were tied with 9 points. The first tiebreaker, total goals. Hartford scored 9, Louisville had 8. And that wild card spot launched Hartford's run to the USL Cup title. This year's Cup promises even more drama. 42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wildcard team, not 2 wildcards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wildcard cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Prinx tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80+ destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Back here at Pitbull Stadium, Chris Nurse, David Gascon, Prinx Tires USL Cup, Tampa Bay 2, Miami FC nothing. Through 45 minutes of play. Take a look at the Oddtown scoreboard. Chris, anything jump out to you? I know one score does.
Yeah, I think Rhode Island losing to Portland, part of pain. It's a...
Ouch.
Ouch. Charleston doing as Charleston does. 4-0 up over Richmond Kickers. Hartford Brooklyn 0-0 half time.
Yeah, Brooklyn has not fared well so far in USL Championship action. One of the newest members to the said league.
So it's been a rough start for all the new stars. Like Jack's up there too.
Sporting Jacks, yeah, same thing as well. But they're off the schneid. Take a look at what's on tap this evening. All the rest of the action. Oakland Roots and Sacramento Republic just getting underway. Switchbacks in New Mexico. All that action available on ESPN Plus and also CBS Golazzo as well. When we come back, we'll get you some first half stats and highlights. Right now, Tampa Bay leading 2-0 over Miami. We'll be back.
It is halftime in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. We hope you enjoyed the first half. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for the week. Hartford Athletics' Adrian Diespay had quite the match in Week 10 against Detroit City. He recovered from an own goal to score the game-winning goal in a 2-1 win over Detroit. Diespay helped head coach Brendan Burke achieve his 100th win in the USL Championship. Chattanooga Red Wolves got back into the win column last weekend and added some history in the process. Matt Bentley scored 3 goals and assisted on another goal in a 4-1 win over Sarasota Paradise. Bentley is the 4th player in League One history to record a hat trick and an assist in a single match. In a span of 1 week since the opening of Ruoff Mortgage Stadium, Fort Wayne FC has won 2 matches and drawn another, and the play of Tague Healy has led the way. Healy has scored in all 3 of Fort Wayne's home matches and enters this week on a 4-game goal-scoring streak. He's already accomplished a lot at 22 years old, leading NC State to the NCAA College Cup final last year. In 2024, Healy was the MVP in the USL League Two final. Upcoming national TV broadcasts, all in the championship. Rhode Island and Brooklyn next Saturday. Sporting Jackson, San Antonio on the 27th. Then it's Louisville City and Tampa Bay Rowdies on the 30th. All 3 matches on CBS Sports Network. Well, the second half is getting closer. Let's get you back out to your match.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup, built for practical performance in the long haul. Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers just like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Gorgeous night here in South Florida. Thank you for hanging out with us. Chris Nurse, David Gascon, Pitbull Stadium tonight. Miami FC and Tampa Bay Rowdies squaring off here in 2026. Interstate rivals, and Tampa Bay, Chris, in the first half, they dominated everything.
Yeah, as we spoke about, they had some really good chances from inside the box to get themselves on the score sheet. Here was Perez taking on 2 players inside the box. Not on his favoured left foot, swings it with his right, wide of the upright, but that was a warning sign of things to come.
And for Tampa Bay, they kept their foot on the gas too. Miami really bending at the knees. Luis Perez here with a brilliant strike.
Distance, maybe 25 yards out, but just giving enough time to get the ball out his feet, pick his corner, and he does exactly that. Off the upright, into the back of the net. Fantastic try from Perez, 1-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies.
18th minute, Miami tried to flirt a little bit. Knudsen missed in an attempt. Jamali Waite able to gobble up. And then the 41st minute, more trouble.
Great strike again here from Perez. Again, makes it look effortless. Just a couple steps before striking. It takes a wicked deflection. Room did well here to keep it out the back of the net. But you know what came next?
Yeah, the flurries here for Tampa Bay, and MD Myers bullseye.
MD Myers doing what MD does. Lets it run across his body, just guides it on frame and into the back of the net, giving him no chance. That's a striker's instinctive finish. What he does best, as you spoke about, 38 goals so far for Andy Myers in the USL Championship and numerous tournaments. Proven goal scorer, and he's done it again tonight.
And this is an instance where the numbers don't lie. They tell you exactly who's deserving of that 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, as we spoke about, it's one thing having shots. It's another thing where those shots are coming from. As we spoke about, a lot more of Tampa Bay Rowdies' shots have been in the high conversion areas inside the 18-yard box. Miami FC had some shots, but been from distance. So I don't think they've had a shot inside the 18-yard box, and only one shot on target, and not dominating in terms of possession. So it has to be a significantly better start for Miami FC in the second half. They have to go chasing. It's going to be interesting to see what they're willing to give up defensively in order to be more offensive in this second half. And then it's going to be interesting to see if Tampa Bay Rowdies are able to recognize that and continue to be aggressive and take advantage of that space that they're going to give up to them. So looking for a very interesting and exciting second half. As we spoke about, derbies are all about passion, intensity, fire and competitiveness. And maybe Miami FC have not lived up to the expectations of a derby so far in this game. It's been fairly pedestrian for Tampa Bay Rowdies. Have they been performing to their best? You feel like the Rowdies are performing to their best? Nope. But they're being very efficient in getting the job done, not giving up too many goal scoring opportunities, and being threatening. I wouldn't say necessarily clinical, because they could have been more clinical, but they've been threatening the opportunities that they've had.
Marco Micheletto coming in this contest for Pedro Dolabella. If you're Gaston Madoni, the head coach of Miami FC, what do you tell your guys to rattle their cage?
Listen, they have to compete. They have to compete. They have to understand what it means to play in a derby of Miami FC against Tampa Bay Rowdies. And the only way you understand that as the players is if you understand it as the staff and the coach. You know, the staff and they have to put that fire into their belly. There's some games when you don't necessarily need to motivate players and get them fired up for the game. And this is one of those occasions. Tampa Bay Rowdies versus Miami FC is a big game. And you need to fire yourself up and come with the motivation and the intensity that the fixture demands. It's as simple as that. They haven't competed well in the first half. Like, wake up. Let's see bring out the best version of yourselves.
Tampa Bay has just made their first change with Micheletto coming in, but is there anything else that you should do if you're Tampa Bay right now?
Well, the next goal is massive, as they always say. 2-0 is a scary scoreline. It's one of the most scary scorelines in soccer because the game can flip so quickly. So whoever scores the next goal is in charge of the momentum of the game, but you'd rather be sitting 2-0 up than sitting 2-0 down. So when that statement always gets made, it's a little caution, but there is a lot of statistics to back up. Teams come up at half-time 2-0 up and end up conceding, and the momentum of the game completely flips. So it's interesting to see if they have the maturity and the composure to go ahead and seal off the game, or if Miami FC find a way back into it.
Inside the box, and they score! Right out of the gates here in the 47th minute. There's that man again, MD Myers. It is all Tampa.
Before Miami FC get a chance to get back in the game, it's over. 1 minute into the second half, you concede. Not just the run into the box unchallenged. Look, he makes this run. Nobody's competing him. He just guides it back where the ball came from into the corner. But the delivery into the box, no pressure. Nobody's trying to stop the cross. Nobody's tracking the runner. Evidently, a good delivery, a well-timed run, a good finish costs you a goal. All things that are in the first 60 seconds of the second half that you want to prevent. Close down players, get tight to them. Don't allow them to have shots on target. Don't allow them free deliveries into the box. Definitely don't allow strikers to make runs unchallenged. 3-0 now is game, set, and match. There's no way Miami FC find themselves back into this game in the way they're performing right now.
A brace for MD Myers. Always nice when you lead off a show spotlighting a player and he does exactly what you expect him to do, and that's fill it up.
probably the 2 times we've called his name has been the 2 times he's put the ball into the back of the net. And that's what good strikers do. They may not be involved in every play, but when the ball finds their feet, they find a way of converting into the back of the net. They have the natural instinct. They have the ability to score goals. It's a natural trait that every team's looking for, that guy who has that ability to do that. And Myers shows up big again today. We highlighted him pre-game based upon his scoring record, and he hasn't disappointed.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Listen, I promise you that the organization and fan base for Miami FC had to give this team an injection. You cannot be at home against Rowdies and getting dominated 3-0 in your home facility, your home stadium, in front of your home fans. You have to play with more pride. You have to play with more commitment, dedication, intensity, everything. Everybody needs to feel like that you're out there giving everything till you're exhausted and you don't give up and you fight to the very end. And I don't get that feeling from this Miami FC team right now. I don't know if they understand what it means to play against the Tampa Bay Rowdies and the magnitude of this fixture. And I'm not sure that they're giving everything to go and get the victory.
Which is surprising because Gaston Madoni's team has been competitive in every match.
Look, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the bench has more yellow cards than the players on the pitch.
Yeah.
So that tells you where the intensity is coming from, whether it's being reciprocated by the players or not. We mentioned that there's a better standing currently in the league than previous years, but this is a fixture when you really show what you're about, when you show what you're meant with, you show your commitment and dedication, how much fight and competition you have, and it's been absent. And as I said, the culture of the organization brings that intensity to a fixture like this, because you have players and people within the club who understands what it means, who understand what that rivalry means. And the youngsters coming up also believe in that. And that's where the growth and the next level has to come from.
Micheletto trying to get it back. Micheletto, the one touch. And it goes right back to Miami FC. It's fascinating because when you look at the body of work this year for Miami, they've only been clubbed around a few times. One of them was in week 1 against Lewis City. They were outclassed 4-1 by Lewis City on the road. And then you go back to the middle portion of April. They lost to Phoenix Rising here at home. It was a 3-0 outcome. Only 2 times this year that they really have been outmanned. Torrey did a delicate spot with Oliveira draped all over his back.
But you also have to give Tampa Bay Rowdies credit. For the past couple of seasons, they've been propping up the outskirts of the USL Championship. We actually, last year, was like, is it going to be a year when the Rowdies aren't in the playoffs? And it was a completely disappointing year. This year, they've come back re-galvanized. They look like they have more energy. They have a style of play. They have a connection between the players where they can play in 1 and 2 touch and get possession. They can create scoring opportunities, and Myers doesn't need 10 to convert. You give him 3, converts 2 out of the 3. High conversion rate. You need those characters, those players, and a connection between the team to be successful. And the Rowdies have done a good job in reinventing themselves so far this season, because last season, to be honest, it wasn't there. So they've done a good job in finding their ground again and re-galvanizing the organization and their fan base and getting that positive energy back behind them. Miami FC are yet to do that, and as we spoke about, some exciting growth throughout the organization in terms of the facility and infrastructure that they're trying to build around. But your first thing has to be the product on the team. You can build a brand, you need a winning team, and that is yet to be established.
These 2 teams will lock up again during the regular season on July the 25th. Room has had no chances on the 3 shots that got past him. Just a tough night for the keeper. Tampa Bay out shooting Miami in the first half, out possessing them, outscoring them, and they've carried all of that over here in the half number 2. Luis Perez scored the first goal, then MD Myers with 2 brilliant strikes, one of them contorting his body towards target, and the other was a header perfectly placed in. And Miami has yet to respond in any which way against their interstate rivals.
Yeah, and if you just look now at how comfortable Tampa Bay Rowdies are, just moving the ball around the field, they're not even putting them under significant pressure and making it difficult for them. They're standing off them and letting them be very comfortable with a 3-0 lead. I think at this point in the game, you've got to be aggressive in how you press. There's pointless being conservative. You have to go and try and win the ball at every opportunity, and everybody as a team has to go, because you've got to score 4 goals to win the game. So there's no amount of sitting off that is going to do that for you.
Rocha gets taken out here, and he is just down in some agony right now. Dos Santos was there to greet him. Tough contact, and Rocha will get back to his toes.
Yeah, not only are they hitting the back of your net, they're hitting you in the tackles also. You know, you're not just losing the game, you're losing the moments of the game, the 50-50s, the first ball, the second balls. Tampa Bay Rowdies just have a little bit more pep in their step, whether it's confidence, whether it's preparedness, whether it's just wanting it a little bit more. Something different.
Sonora inside. Oh, Knutson had it, but drove it over the crossbar.
Knutson probably just connects with his header a little more than he would have liked. Could have just glanced it into the back of the net, but the connection is a little bit too strong and sees it fly over the crossbar.
It's our first Cook Unity corner kick of the match for Miami. The set pieces are far and few for Gaston Madoni's troops. And shockingly enough, that's our first corner kick of the night for the home side. Myers and Tulu. Miami's sitting on it now. Not playing like a desperate team. Knutson airlifted it up, and Dongo trying to split. Dos Santos took him out. Good clean contact. They cough here.
It's good defending again. He arrives right at the right moment when the ball bounces down. He's first to the second ball after it's knocked down. It's good defending.
Want to get a minute? Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and much, much more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. All played through nicely. Micheletto goes for the short side and slices it away. Great look into the 18. Micheletto, though, just missed the mark.
Fantastic through ball there with the outside of the foot again. It was a lefty, so I'm going to only guess it was Perez again who played that through pass. But Micheletto at a really tight angle there, a little bit ambitious, trying to shoot from there, and it sees it naturally go wide of the upright and out for a goal kick.
Miami has yet to play with the passion that we're used to seeing. Gainbridge, who went down. Oliveira here. Micheletto, who came in. Is the only change here in the second half for Tampa Bay. But you got to imagine with the score right now and the output for Rowdies, they're going to go to their bench now and get some other guys some quality minutes.
I like the way the Rowdies use space. They're able to find a player in space and switch the point of attack or draw pressure and then play in between the lines. Really intelligent use of space from the Rowdies.
Tampa Bay wins here tonight. They'll be tied in points with Miami FC as the top mark in Group 7. But they will own the tiebreaker. And they'll also have a game in hand. Oliveira. Nice quick chip. The drive from Luis Perez. He just missed his brace.
Again, fantastic technique from Perez again here on the edge of the box. Uses the sole of his foot to get it under control and then hits a vicious half volley. Skims across the surface and wide of the upright. Again, finding those little dangerous pockets that he loves.
Good look, too, from Perez.
Fantastic technique. Hasn't got much better for Miami FC at the start of this second half, has it? They have not been able to string a sequence of possession together. I don't think they connected 6 passes. They definitely not really threatened the goal as yet. And you just look at the body language of players. There's not that urgency to get back into shape, get organized, and then press together to win the ball back. It's kind of I would say it's a little bit lethargic from them.
Is this more of what Miami's not doing, or is it more of what Tampa Bay's taking away from them?
I think you galvanize. There's no excuse. Tampa Bay can't take away their energy and commitment and fight and dedication. Nobody can take that away apart from the individuals themselves. It's just concerning that there's so many individuals that are not ticking those boxes tonight.
Well, they're looking for a lot more here. Fourth goal would empty the bench for Tampa Bay. Probably the same for Miami.
And I don't necessarily think it's a case of questioning the players' commitment. It's a case of questioning, do they have what it takes? Do they have what it takes to give more? Like, is this the maximum of what they can give? Is this as high as their ceiling or their capacity is? Or are they playing with the handbrakes on, so to speak?
Boy, Perez going to pick up yellow here. Not going to mean a whole lot in a 3-0 ball game.
Look, if you're a Miami FC fan and you're looking at the statistics, it doesn't look good for you. 14 shots for Tampa Bay Rowdies and just 5 for Miami FC in a derby game. That is dominance in itself. You then go a little deeper into possession. 60% for the Rowdies, 40% for Miami FC. So sometimes you see an imbalance where the team dominating possession actually is not creating the most chances. But they are dominating possession, and they are also creating the most chances. So really and truthfully, what we're describing about Miami FC not being necessarily very competitive tonight is 100% reinforced by the statistics. Sometimes the statistics can be misleading, but it's not one of those nights. The statistics simply reinforce that Miami FC have been subpar so far in the 60 minutes of this game so far.
Micheletto peels this thing back. Schneider. If that's the case and you're Gaston Madoni, why don't you go to your bench?
It depends if he feels like he has the strength on his bench where things get better. Sometimes if you see a coach doesn't go to their bench, it's because they don't feel like it's going to get any better if they go to the bench. It's a case of questioning now, or maybe trusting the squad that you've built. If you've built this squad and you've signed these players, then you have to give them the opportunity in games like this where things aren't going well to come on and change the game and impact things differently, because the players on the pitch are not getting the job done right now. As you just mentioned, he hasn't gone to the benches yet, which means maybe that shows a lack of trust or a lack of a vision that the players on the bench can come in and make a positive impact. So he's going to ride it out with the ones that he has on the field. So it's going to be interesting to see if that continues. Substitutions normally roll around the 65th minute mark, and you would like to see some of these players that he has on the bench get into the game. If not so, more of the young players, let them get involved and get a feeling for what it feels like, because they're going to be the future.
Could it be an instance, too, where you want the players to endure what's going on?
No, because managers are judged on wins.
Yeah.
So whether they endure it and it's 3-0, 4-0, at the end of the day, the bullet's going to sit with the head coach at the end of that, and it's an opportunity to win silverware. If you don't feel like you're going to be strong enough to be #1 in the regular season or to win the playoffs, then these competitions provide an opportunity to bring silverware to the organization and to boost the optimism and enthusiasm going forward as they go into this new phase of building facility and infrastructure.
Crossing attempt, Knutson in front of it this time.
Of course, it takes time to build a winning structure. It doesn't happen overnight, and there's a number of changes. But a derby game is a derby game, and you can never roll over and be dominated in this fashion in a derby game. Again, maybe we understand the intensity and what this game means a little bit more, having called these games for so many years. But you want to see it represented and reflected on the pitch by the players.
Some decent contact here, and Schneider and company will take back over. It has been surgical for Tampa Bay here tonight. Micheletto. Tulu able to intercept Tunbridge.
I think there's two pivotal moments so far in this game. It's Tampa Bay Rowdies scoring in the last 5 minutes before halftime, and then scoring in the first 5 minutes after halftime. Scoring at those two moments will drive any head coach insane, because you've just spoken at halftime and given your team a new direction of how you're going to go and get yourself back in the game. And 60 seconds after they come out the locker room, somehow they concede a goal. Like, it's going to make the head coach think, what just happened in the locker room that didn't translate into going out there and being more solidified as a team, stopping goal scoring opportunities for the opponents and trying to create more for themselves.
Another good long ball here. Tulu in front of it, and Jai clear this temporarily, but Tampa Bay holding on in possession. There is going to be a moment in this match where Tampa Bay will park the bus and sit back.
No, why park the bus when you can go after 4 or 5? If they're the best teams don't park the bus when they're winning. They go after more, especially in a game like this where the other team wants to potentially maybe be a little less competitive. You're like, okay, we smell blood in the water and they're going to go after it even more. So if you're Tampa Bay Rowdies now, you have an opportunity to put a firm stamp that you're the dominant force in Florida. You wouldn't be taking your foot off the gas. You'd be going even harder.
It's human nature.
It's definitely human nature in this competition of this nature.
Tunbridge. 2 guys that were there. Rocha's one of them. Rocha's going to be cut off. It should be a corner kick for Miami, and it is.
Turned out to be good defending there from a cough. Using his speed to get back and win possession. I thought he was going to clear it out for a throw-in, but allowed it to run out of play for a corner. And great opportunity for Miami FC to get the ball into the box and see if they can test the goalkeeper tonight, who we've barely called his name.
Molly Wade has been untested in this match.
I think his hands had to be cold, no?
No kidding. Even in the warm climate. Rocha here, line drive delivery. It's going to go against Miami, right back to Tampa Bay. Can't watch the match? We'll turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. On Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. We talked earlier about the World Cup coming here to North America. When it comes here to the United States and obviously Mexico and Canada, what do you think that does for the game of soccer here domestically?
I think the World Cup, when it arrives anywhere, just increases the participation, increases the excitement, increases the engagement in the sport. And I think having it here in Mexico, Canada and the US is no doubt going to increase the engagement, the excitement and the participation for young kids, for adults, for everybody in the region. You're going to see adults wanting to go out and play because they're going to be excited and motivated and inspired by the World Cup that's coming right to our doorstep. So I think it's going to be such a exciting and inspirational time for everybody in the region. Whether you love the game or not, I think you're going to catch World Cup fever and everybody's going to be out there. Who was it last time? Shakira? I think everybody's going to be going crazy when the World Cup starts in a few weeks' time.
Got some changes here for Miami FC.
The people order delivery like they're made of money. That's why they subscribe to Cook Unity, where the chefs deliver gourmet meals at affordable prices. Because the people aren't made of money. Cook Unity, chefs to the people.
Chris, with the World Cup here and the participation increasing for the host nations that'll be in it, I guess the biggest challenge really is not resonating in Canada, the United States, that some people would think about the sport, just growing over the last 15, 20, 25 years. Of course, it is prominent in Mexico. But do you think the United States and Canada take another step forward in growing the game?
For sure, and I think investment in the sport will also increase. You know, people that may not have contributed dollars into the development of sport will be more intrigued having experienced the World Cup and been to games and see the togetherness and joy that it brings.
Our attempt here for Tampa Bay. Knudsen will push this away. It'll be another corner kick.
Perez holds his hand up there because he knows he was in a really good area and is probably a little lackluster with the pass, the final pass. But again, Tampa Bay cutting through Miami FC like a hot knife through butter. Way too easy.
Miami making some changes, and Tampa Bay will do so here in a moment. Luis Perez is going to take this corner kick for the road team.
See the notorious 65th minute substitution mark.
Right on cue. And before any of that occurs,
for the third time, the referee is watching the contact, and the second the ball comes into play, he's blown. 2 times he's blown already. He's just given free kicks in the opposite direction. It's a wasted opportunity for the attacking team and really trivial if you're the defensive team because you risk giving away a penalty. So both teams need to be smarter in these movements.
Set pieces are critical, even with Tampa Bay being up 3-0. These are elements to a game that you always want to work on. Perez Low line drive delivery, wide open man on the left-hand side, and then is Schneider, and he scores. Floodgates wide open, Schneider walks through, Tampa's up 4.
We're not quite in hurricane season yet, but Tampa have definitely rolled in today with a storm in Miami. 4-0, there's still 25 minutes left in the game. We spoke about working on set pieces and being clinical from these opportunities, and again we see it here. Tampa Bay Rowdies just a little bit more switched on, creating their own luck. You know, that's obviously not a well worked on set piece. That orthodox, they're adapting on the fly, but Miami FC just do a poor job of winning the first contact, winning the second ball, staying with runners, and at the far post, all alone, Snyder puts it into the back of the net.
Changes now coming in. Sebastian Cruz will depart. Akoff as well. Lewis Hilton enters the fray. Lawrence Wyke as well. Pillar to post. Tampa Bay has throttled Miami in this one.
Yeah, and the craziest part is that you wouldn't describe it as a competitive game. You know, you would not describe this as a game where Tampa struggled and they just converted their chances and they were lucky to win 4-0. No, that's not how this story's played out. It's maybe flattering that it's not 6-0, let alone 4-0, and that's really disappointing for the spectacle that we expected tonight. We expected to see a really good battle between two teams that understand the rivalry and competing for silverware this year. Tampa Bay coming off a poor year last year. Can they do better this year? 100, they're on the pathway towards it, for sure. Miami FC, you know, rough couple of years, but revising this year, coming with some new energy, some new ideas, sitting in a better position in the standings. But today, really deflated that positivity that may have been going through them so far this year.
Yeah, one thing, if anything, it's not like this derails Miami's season by no stretch of the imagination. This is a USL Cup match, not a regular season activity. But if you're using this as a litmus test of where Miami is compared to Tampa Bay, this is about as far away as North Pole is to South Pole right now.
Yeah, and you can't turn it on and turn it off and expect to be successful. Top teams want to win everything. They want every piece of silverware that's available during the course of the season because it's a mentality and it's a DNA that's embedded in the organization. So they can say, oh, it's the Prinx Cup, but are you going to win the playoffs? Are you going to be #1 in the league? Then the Prinx Cup may be your opportunity to do that. And for Miami FC, given the previous seasons they have, I don't think they can afford to take any competition not seriously. Open Cup, Prinx Cup, any tournament you're in, you've got to try and turn the cloud that's been over the organization in terms of performance and results around pretty soon, because you need a fan base that is going to get behind you, be the 12th man, give the players that energy and that boost that they need on a consistent basis. So I don't think they're in a situation where they can turn their nose up at any level of competition. Every game that they play, they have to go out there and compete to their maximum and try to turn the fortunes of the organization around on the field. We know things are looking more positive off the field, but on the field they've got to do the work also.
And Jai, quick flip, gets it back. But a bad ball here, and it goes right to Jamali Waite. When you get into a spot like this and you're Gaston Madoni, are you simply just waiting for the clock to expire and turn the page, or how do you coach these guys up?
I think as a head coach in these moments, you maybe go a little bit silent and you just do more observation than coaching. Because you're 4-0 down and you want to see the mentality and the approach of the players when things are definitely not going your way, because you definitely learn a lot more in defeat than you do when you win. You want to see the players who quit. You want to see the players who continue to bring positive energy, the players who continue to try to make their teammates better. You want to see the players who continue to make good decisions. Essentially, you want to see who really stays competing to the final whistle, because top competitors will compete to the final whistle irrespective of the score, because they understand there's the collective performance, but you also have to have the performance where you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the night and say, I gave everything I got, irrespective of the scoreline. So I think from a coaching standpoint, you take a step back and you just try to observe a little bit the character, the mentality, the energy, the demeanor, the influence that some of the players are having, and then you try to revise, okay, who can I continue to build and grow with? Who needs to kick up the rear end a little bit? And maybe who are the passengers that you maybe need to leave to the side a little bit. So I think it's an opportunity to observe, to grow, and to maybe understand the team a little bit better.
It's a great point, too, as we see more changes. Evan Conway, Brendan Bent coming in for both these sides. Yeah, when you get into a match like this, there's certain guys that a coach will identify as, hey, those are the guys that are trying to work and work hard. And others, as you mentioned, they're passengers. They're just kind of letting everything kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah, because in teams, there's always different characters. And you know there's some who are going to try and point the finger at the staff. There's some who are going to try and point the finger at other players. There's some going to take responsibility for themselves, and there are going to be some that take no responsibility. And as a coach, it's your job to kind of identify that, to work on that, to change the culture if it needs changing. But you still got to find a way Monday morning when they come into training to re-galvanize the group, to focus on the things that you did well, if they can pick some out of this game, and to amend the things that you need to do better.
Miami's going to have to turn the page quickly, too, because they play midweek next week against Detroit.
Yep, you players had to be like a goldfish. You have to forget quickly, so they can't dwell on this, you know, and it should hurt. This shouldn't be a game where they walk off the pitch and it doesn't hurt them. It should really hurt losing this game in the manner that they've lost this game, where they've lost this game, irrespective of the competition. It should hurt, and that hurt they need to turn into inspiration and motivation to go out in the next game and do a lot better. Substitution came in. Brandon Bent, a youngster who spent some time at Inter Miami with their U17s, tons of pace, ability to take players on in wide areas, can get himself on the score sheet. This is the young influence that we're speaking about coming in and maybe being able to take over the reins at some point in the future.
Glided through onto the right-hand side. Luis Perez, who gave it up. That ball locked in the way through. Room got his left paw on it to keep that one out. Corner kick coming up here for Tampa Bay. They continue to keep it in high gear.
Again, the mix of ages in Miami FC is a positive. And this is where the younger players, 19 and 20, can get on the field and learn their trade amongst some of those senior players. But you want the positive habits to run off. You want the positive communication and leadership to rub off onto those younger players. And that also looks a little challenging of where that's coming from right now.
Another cross here on the corner. Schneider whiffed on it badly. Knutson gets it airborne. Then we got a player down for Miami. It looks like Tulu, who's down in some agony right now. Let's see what happened here. A little bit of friendly fire. Two players colliding for Miami. Ooh, three players actually colliding there.
I think Snyder want to see this volley, but I think you want to see too many replays of that volley. Okay, next interesting start, the second half. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, passes in the final third. Tampa Bay Rowdies 110, Miami FC 63. So Tampa Bay Rowdies have almost doubled the amount of passes that Miami FC have had in the attacking third. Indicative of the scoreline.
And indicative of how they play tonight, too. They've just been on the front foot and in the attacking third the majority of the night. And Interlong's going to come in. Well, I get a minute. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, so download it now. Tulu's still down the ground. Three players had collided for Miami FC. And Tulu was on the receiving end of all that trauma.
Well, let me go back to my stat sheet while we're going to talk about that trauma then. So tackles so far in this game, Miami FC have won 8, Tampa Bay Rowdies have won 20.
So what you're trying to tell me is it's one-sided.
I'd say Tampa Bay Rowdies have been a little more aggressive in the tackles. Come out on the winning side a little more frequently than Miami FC. And sometimes that can be indicative of your passion, your commitment, and your intensity is when you're able to win those 50-50 tackles and win those second balls and regain possession of the ball. And I think that is kind of what this statistic summarizes, is that's why they've been able to be so dominant in possession, because they've won those 50-50s, they've won those tackles, they've been able to win those moments that get you back possession of the ball, and then they've been able to take that and go ahead and create.
Tulu coming off the pitch, and he looks okay. Can only hope that's the case. Calfo coming in for him. Angelo Calfo, who's been amongst the starters on the regular, but now on the bench, entering the fray. Been a tough night at the office for Gaston Madoni and his troops.
I would say there's also, it's pretty clear where Tampa Bay Rowdies' attacks come from. They deliver 20 crosses so far in this game. So Miami FC's ability to get out wide and stop crosses and stop deliveries into the box hasn't really been efficient tonight. 20 crosses have come into the box, and obviously we've seen goals come from those instances also, straight after half-time being one of those instances. So
Out number 6, Zulu.
Here comes Miami trying to do something with possession. Closing stages of this night. Played through Ndongo with a redirect. It goes towards Jamali Waite.
DaCosta with some nice footwork there, gliding past a couple of players in the middle of the park.
Diaz intercepted by Dos Santos, who takes a shoulder. 2 goals in the first half for Tampa Bay, 2 more here in half number 2. Luis Perez with the first one, MD Myers with the brace, and then Max Schneider added on.
It's not good, but I don't mind Undondo going in and leaving his shoulder on Dos Santos like that and leaving a little body on him, letting him know like he's not happy with the way things are going and making him a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes that's what you need to kind of change the momentum of the game, is start to be more aggressive, leave your body on players, get closer and tighter in possession of the ball. I don't mind that from Undondo. He's actually showing some type of response or some type of willingness to fight back against the scoreline right now.
The puzzling question is, why didn't that happen earlier in the match?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Henderlong in, Myers takes a bow and departs. Now the only question for Tampa Bay tonight is, does the MD Myers brace even matter, considering the fact that Luis Perez scored the first goal of the evening? '80th minute. Tunbridge gets it back. Mason Tunbridge, another nice move. Mason Tunbridge, he does it all, and he scores! There's a pulse and a heartbeat. Mason Tunbridge does it by himself, and Miami's on the board.
But even now, you've gone on that fantastic run. You scored a great goal. Go and get the ball, bring it back to the halfway line, and get your team going again. Your body language is still representing deflated, giving up mentality. Like, go and get the ball, keep your team going. You've just had a fantastic moment for your team. Build on that momentum. Go out, finish off the game fighting and competing. This is excellent work. Excellent work from Tunbridge to have the composure, to beat players, connecting, finish it off. Now go and get the ball and go and get it back in play again.
Great move by Tunbridge. Getting it, pivoting, and firing. So he's on the board, and so is Miami. A late marker. Right now it's for cosmetic purposes only, unless something can happen in the next 10 minutes where they claw another 2 back.
Cosmetic purposes, but still your individual pride. At least you can leave the pitch saying, hey, it wasn't collectively, it wasn't there tonight. But you can look yourself in the face and say you gave it all you got, and that's what I'm saying. You've had a great moment. There's still time left in the game. Keep going. You never know. You've seen crazier things happen. It may be a moment in the game, or maybe a time in the game where Tampa Bay Rowdies have taken their foot off the gas and they've relaxed a little bit, and there's the opportunity to go and get 2 more goals and make it really uncomfortable in the dying stages of the game.
What happened last year for Miami and Tampa Bay, granted, Miami had a full 45 minutes to claw back. They were down 3-0 last year to tie it and then win it in penalties. Tonight, down 2-0, 3-0, and then 4. Tampa Bay trying to make it 5-1. Not the case as Room makes a fine stop here. Luis Perez trying to match Myers on his brace for the night. So now MD Myers is in position to have the game-winning goal.
For Miami FC, they've got nothing to lose by going all-out offense. You're down by 3 goals. There's 10 minutes left in the game. You may as well take the risks and go forward. It's not going to make any difference 4-1 or 5-1 at this stage of this game, but maybe you make it 4-2 or 4-3 and it looks a little bit more respectable.
Tunbridge trying to do some lifting here, but that ball is going to trickle away. Spirited goal by Mason Tunbridge. Jalmali Away, I got to imagine, not happy to have one get past him.
I tell you, this Tampa offense, as much as we've spoken about the defense, tonight, the Tampa offense has been fairly efficient. They've had 21 shots. 15 of those shots have come from inside the box, and 7 of them being on target. So 1 in 3 shots is on target, but 15 out of 20 shots inside the box. I think the scoreline is a fair reflection of how they've attacked tonight.
Gino Vivi comes into the fray.
I think one place they will kick themselves is they weren't able to keep the clean sheet, and top teams do put that microscopic lens on themselves. Yes, we were good offensively. We put the ball in the back of the net. We dominated possession, but we gave up a goal, and they're not going to be content. The top teams are not content with giving up a goal. They want clean sheets as much as they want to score 4 and 5.
Knudsen trying to hold his footing.
I will say conceding the goal maybe ties in 6 substitutions the Rowdies have made, 6 substitutions MyFC a game. So the game is ending with 50% of the players on the field being completely different from the ones that started. So those number of changes does have an impact on the chemistry and cohesion amongst the team, and obviously the rhythm of the game and everything has a bigger impact.
Tunbridge, who played this thing through, couldn't get it back, but he was in a good spot. Musto here. Tunbridge now. Just putting him in a bad spot. Tampa Bay not willing to concede much movement here. And Jai, who gave it up. Musto inside the 18. Decent contact. Fans wanting a foul.
The referee was in a good position there. He had his eyes firmly glued on it. And didn't think it was a viable shot for a penalty kick.
We go against Miami. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Conclusion of this match, we'll have our full-time highlights and stats along with our Cricket Wireless man of the match.
Charlie left, Charlie left, Charlie left. Come on. No, good Charlie. Hey, hey, hey! Yeah, then play that. Okay. Chucky, stay with me and then give me back. See if you can last. Right, but guys, you've got to be a little bit more willing to foul when you're tapping off. Okay, all right? You're stepping off them every time they get out. It's all the way up here, all the way up here, Charlie.
Shots 21-7 in favor of Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay expected goals for 2.47. Miami at 0.66. This cross is intercepted.
It's another dangerous ball into the box. There's nobody attacking, and I think it's indicative of Myers no longer being on the field. You lose that nose for goal that he naturally has. He's the player who would be in that area at that time.
Another foul here. We're gonna get a yellow card. Enderlong picks up yellow. Didn't really see much venom behind that, but nevertheless, our center referee pulls it out again.
Tunbridge, the only player from Miami FC who has a yellow card tonight outside of the coaching staff, and naturally he's the guy who got himself on the score sheet tonight.
Yellow card issued to Tampa Bay's number 14, Carson Enderlong, in the 87th minute.
Final stages of this match. Miami will travel to Michigan to battle Detroit. Nothing easy about that. Tampa Bay, just a completely different animal for them this season. The beat goes on. Tampa Bay, after this contest, will be in New Mexico against New Mexico United. And then they welcome in Phoenix Rising. End of the month will be fascinating to see what they do. They'll be at Lou City. And back-to-back games against Lou City and then Sporting Jacks. So not only going to have a big match against Lou City, but then you're going to have the drop-off against Sporting Jacks. So will there be any change in attitude and mindset? This one into the 18. Enderlong with a pivot, far side official with the flag up. Match did not start how Miami envisioned it, and it certainly did not carry over as the night was broken out.
The dagger in the heart came straight after halftime when it was 2-0, and as we were discussing, the next goal was massive. Whichever direction it went, the momentum of the game was going to flip into, and Tampa Bay Rowdies were able to come out and get that goal just 60 seconds into the second half, and that was the deflation for Miami FC. Whatever they had planned to do in the second half, completely thrown out in the window once you go on conceding in the opening stages. So after that point, it became a pretty pedestrian night for Tampa Bay Rowdies, just managing the game out for the next 45 minutes. Obviously bringing in some players to get some match minutes into the legs.
I guess one thing, if there's a silver line to all this, there's no shadow of a doubt what happens to Miami when they lose. When they lose, they get blown out. And when they've played to a draw or obviously win, they're usually in a dogfight. But the 3 losses that they'll have this season, assuming this thing stays the way it is, 4-1 at Lou City, 3-0 at home against Phoenix Rising, and this is 4-1 right now.
Yeah, and Lou City and Tampa Bay Rowdies, you can kind of stomach. Phoenix Rising have been a little bit indifferent in their performances so far this year. So maybe, you know, you question that one. Should you be getting blown out by Phoenix in the form that they're having this season? Question. But the other 2 teams are strong organizations that have been up and running at the premium level for an extended period of time now. And if you're not set up correctly, naturally they should put you to bed in a I don't want to say disrespectful, but definitely in a authoritative manner. And I think that's been the case with both of those results against both Louisville and obviously Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight.
Wade here in the touch. Spent some time with El Paso. Keep an eye on our 4th official. See how much stoppage time is granted. Can't imagine a whole lot here from our center referee, considering the fact that we've had both teams empty their benches, per se. And the tilt is so one-sided.
I will say 4 minutes left in the game. You're down by 3 goals whilst moving the ball from side to side and around the back. May look great. The objective is to score goals, so you've got to try and get the ball forward. Passing the ball around the defense isn't going to get you 3 goals in 4 minutes. So you probably have to throw a man forward and try to play more direct style and try to get the ball in the box in the attacking third as frequently as possible for the remaining 4 minutes of the game, because it's the only way you're going to score goals. A 30-second build-up.
Enderlong try to sweep it over on the left-hand side. It was a great attempt. That ball just could not get onto the foot, though, of Conway.
See, look, 5-yard passes to your defensive midfielder and to your fullbacks and your centre-backs isn't going to get you 3 goals in the dying phases. You have to play a little bit more direct. As much as people maybe frown or sneer at long balls in behind or playing direct in behind, you can play directly in behind with quality. You can get high up, you can press, you can try to win the second balls, you can try to win knockdowns, you can try to make something happen in the attacking third if there's 4 minutes left in the game. Or you can pass side to side and try to get your numbers up individually. You completed passes. That's great from an individual perspective, but I think your coach watching the game is going to be like, are we trying to connect passes, or are we trying to actually win the result at the end of the game, or close the margin in the result? And I think there's some actions that dictate that you're trying to close the margin, and some actions that dictate you're trying to look at your individual stats. And I think this is also a direction where statistics have influenced the game a little bit, is that are we still trying to win, or are we just trying to increase our individual statistics in the dying phases of the game? Because for me, you've got to try and get the ball forward, and you've seen top teams do it. The ball goes to the halfway line, they start to hit diagonal balls, try to get the ball in the attacking third as frequently as possible. And then we see games 3 goals down and we still don't try to get the ball into the attacking third as frequently as possible in the dying phases. So I think that's why the data can be dangerous sometimes. It always has to be context to it and how it is applied. And in moments of the game where those short passes connected in moments of the game when you needed to score a goal, or were they moments where you needed to dominate possession and maintain the rhythm of the game? For Miami, it's clear as day. They've got to score goals right now, and the urgency isn't there.
Well, now that you've seen Tampa Bay in the flesh, What has impressed you the most?
I think they have players who make a difference. I think Perez's quality in his left foot, if you find him in a dangerous areas, he can score. He also has the ability to create. Myers is an out-and-out goal scorer. If he sniffs anything in your box, it's a goal. So they have the players in the right areas, and then you're looking at the defense also. They've hardly allowed any shots tonight. They'll be disappointed that they've allowed a goal tonight, but they've been so resolute in their defending, getting bodies behind the ball, limiting the amount of shots that Miami FC have been able to take, limiting them to shots from distance when they have been able to take shots. So defensively, all around, it's been a fairly consistent performance from Tampa Bay Rowdies. Is it spectacular? Is it the best performance of the year? No, but when you run away 4-1 against your rivals away from home in their home stadium, I think they'll be celebrating with a lot of treats on the bus on their way back to Tampa.
On that note, if there are any weaknesses in Tampa's game, what are they?
I would say they will need to be more clinical. While they have been good in front of goal today, some of the chances they had, they could have been more clinical. You know, Perez's finish from outside the box is spectacular. But the bread and butter finishes when they get inside the 18-yard box, as we spoke about, they've had 20 shots and 15 of those coming from inside the 18-yard box, which means they could have had a much higher conversion rate, and some of the chances that they had inside the 18-yard box were way easier than the ones that they actually scored. So I think to really be the out-and-out leaders and really put fear through the other teams in this competition and also throughout the league, they've got to become just a little bit more clinical in front of goal.
Play was a mile offside, and it was finally ruled that way as our near-side official with the flag up.
Okay, it was ruled off. Can we put it in the back of the net anyway? You're going to flick it over the bar instead of putting it in the back of the net?
That kind of a night.
That sums it up. We were just talking about the chances that Tampa Bay Rowdies had in being clinical in the attacking third. The few that Miami have, you're definitely going to need to be clinical. You need a potent striker who doesn't need much to score.
Well, that, as they would say, is that a merciful conclusion of tonight's contest. Blown dead here with Miami FC falling to Tampa Bay Rowdies by a score of 4-1. Final thoughts on this?
Listen, Tampa Bay Rowdies, efficient, clinical in the final third with the chance they had, resolute in defense. For Miami FC, there's a lot to be desired and a lot of work to be done.
Mason Tunbridge, our Cricket Wireless man of the match. He scored the lone marker for Miami FC. Congratulations to him and his teammates.
Yeah, he had the best moment, obviously, with that dribble that he went on and got them a goal, which brought some positivity to the result for them, but not much to smile about for Miami FC tonight.
Full time, we've reached it. Tampa Bay wins it. They're now tied with 6 points with Miami FC in the Group 7, the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Full-time highlights and stats right around the corner. We'll be back.
Avianca is ready for takeoff. Miami FC brings extraordinary passion to every match, and we take it further, connecting the city to 80-plus destinations across the Americas and Europe. Because chasing the extraordinary takes the right partner. Avianca, the sky belongs to all of us.
Dealing with pressure is never easy. But pressure is part of the game too. When everything is in your hands, become your own hero.
Welcome back to Pitbull Stadium. Tampa Bay Rowdies rough up Miami FC 4-1, the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Group 7. Both teams now tied with 6 points, but Miami half a game behind and don't hold the tiebreaker with Tampa Bay winning it. Full-time highlights in this one. Chris, it was one-sided traffic for the majority of this thing.
Tampa came down to Miami and definitely dominated this affair. Perez finds some space, 25 yards out, curls it into the far corner, off the post, into the back of the net. 1-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, just like that, 42nd minute, it was more of it. MD Myers, though, gets himself into the act.
Just striker's instinct here. The ball's guided back into the 18-yard box. He just uses his own body and momentum to redirect it on frame into the back of the net. No room for error. Puts it 2-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, the sweet punch from MD Myers. And then we begin the second half, and Myers says, let me get more of that action.
Fantastic delivery into the box here. Myers attacking the space. No Miami FC defender anywhere near him. Just guides the ball back where it came from, into the side netting. 3-0 Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, the route was certainly on. 68th minute, a corner kick here. A broken play of sorts, but Max Schneider capitalizes.
Set pieces, so important in today's game. You know all about that with Arsenal in the Premier League, but Schneider finds himself on the back post, unmarked, converts it into the back of the net.
80th minute, Miami finds a little bit of life. Mason Tunbridge, look at him just weave his way through some traffic.
Brilliant little bit of individual brilliance here from Tunbridge. Picks up the ball, goes on a little dribble, plays a 1-2 with his teammate Da Costa, and then finally opens his hips with the inside of foot, passes it into the side netting. There's two little
enjoyed this one. Tampa Bay Rowdies win this thing pulling away easy. Luis Perez, MD Myers with the brace, and then Max Schneider a goal of his own. Mason Tunbridge did pick up one for the home side, but Tampa Bay wins it and they prevail. 4-1's the final. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. So long.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.